up this late practicing with your lance, are you?
And what about you? Have you got something on your mind again? You really should go to bed. It is chilly out, and you could catch cold. What's the matter? Have you been having nightmares?
Well, in a certain sense, yes. Can you spare a moment?
Of course.
Thank you. I want to apologize to you. When last we spoke, I mishandled the situation.
Your words that night touched me deeply. It felt as though I had been punched in the gut. But more importantly, I think I owe you an apology. I lied to you.
You did?
Do you recall when I ate that meal you cooked and I told you it was delicious? The truth is that no matter what I eat, I can scarcely taste it. I have not had my sense of taste for 9 years now.
My cooking certainly is not something people often compliment me on.
I am sorry. When I said the food was good, I was just saying what I thought you would want to hear.
An apology is not necessary. You were only trying to be kind, after all.
In the end, I am not sure it was kind.
Just the same, it was nice to hear. Oh, hey! I have an idea! What if you sampled some really pungent food? Or something extremely spicy? Maybe that would...
Flame.
Yes?
I like your cooking. I cannot taste it properly, but in my book, it is truly delicious.
No need for the flattery. Anyhow, maybe someday you will get your taste back. I hope then you will be able to compliment me sincerely about my cooking.
You've been spending a lot of time at the training ground, Mercedes. As far as swordsmanship goes, you're like a whole new person.
Thank you. I have such a great time when you teach me that improving comes naturally.
It's all because of your own hard work. Compared to you,
You shouldn't be so disappointed in yourself. You're improving too. You just need to keep at it.
Well, I can hold a needle and thread without breaking anything now. That's... something.
That's a big step. When we started, you couldn't even hold a pair of scissors without twisting them apart.
True. I'm sorry for being such a burden.
You're no bother at all. I like sewing with you. It reminds me of when I was young and my mother taught me how to sew. My mother would sit with my brother and me, and we'd all sew together. I really miss it. Even though I was barely better than you when I started. Did your mother like to sew, Dimitri?
My birth mother? From my father's accounts, she wasn't great at it either.
Oh, of course. I forgot that the Queen of Fargus passed away long ago.
Yes. I don't really remember what she was like. But I remember my stepmother, always sitting by the window sewing away.
I'm sure she would have been happy to teach you if you had asked.
She always looked so lonely when she was sewing. So unreachable. She was kind to me, yes, but when she was like that, it was hard to talk to her. I'm not certain she would have wished to teach me.
I'm so sorry, Dimitri. I didn't mean to bring up such difficult memories.
Don't worry about it. If I don't talk about those things sometimes, I'll risk forgetting them altogether. And that would truly be a shame.
I see.
But now I'm just going on and on about myself. Why don't you tell me more about you?
More about me? Oh, goodness. I don't even know what to say.
It's hard to think of something on the spot, isn't it? You could speak of your family, I suppose.
You want to know more about my family? On that topic, I'm happy to oblige. In fact, I'm so glad you asked. It's important to think about your past and share it every now and then. This might take a while, but would you be willing to stay and listen?
Of course. I will listen for as long as you wish.
Your Highness, I have one more favor to ask.
Is this about Gustav again? I have plenty more stories about him, but perhaps it is time for you to speak with him yourself.
Oh, it's not about Father this time. This time I wanted to ask about you.
About me?
I mean, I heard all about Father last time, but I didn't ask about you.
Ah, well, I'm afraid there is not much of interest for me to tell you.
Oh, it doesn't have to be funny or interesting. That's not why I'm asking. It's just that I thought I already knew you, but I'm not sure I really do. That day when we were reunited at the monastery, I didn't know what to say to you. So I wanted to prepare some of your favorite food. I thought maybe if you ate something that you liked, you'd cheer up a little. But when I got to the kitchen, I realized I didn't even know what you like to eat.
I see. Well, it's a little hard to say what my favorite is. I just don't really have any strong feelings about food. That said, you're pretty keen on sweet things, right, Annette?
Yes, that's right. I'm at my happiest when I'm digging into a sweet treat. Oh, did you know there's a famous sweet shop in the capital?
Yes. It often had long lines outside, didn't it? The castle guards often spoke of it.
The sweets were so good. They cost a fortune, but I loved them. When Father was still around, we all lived as a family in the capital. Since then, I've had them only a few times. How I'd love to taste them again.
Say, Annette, when this war is over, where will you go? I heard that you were close to Baron Dominic back in the academy days.
That's right. But that's not where I think I'd like to go when all of this is over. I reconnected with Father, so I'd like to live with my family again, in the capital. Also, if I'm in the capital, I'll be able to see you from time to time, right?
Ah, that settles it then. We'll have to get your father working twice as hard.
Father's at a ripe old age now. I'd appreciate it if you didn't work him too hard.
Oh, of course. I will keep that in mind. What brings you here at this hour, and with sword in hand no less? Hardly the appropriate attire for prayer.
I am not here to pray to the goddess. I am here to atone for my sins.
I see.
You are your father's reflection. He was never skilled at deception either. Your demand that I take your life was sincere, no matter how you might pretend otherwise.
How astute of you. So, you think you can see right through me, do you?
I watched over you from the day you were born. And that is why it pains me so to do this. It is like taking the life of my own son.
I am sorry to burden you with this, but you have my gratitude. Now, make it quick.
Yes.
You really are a cruel man.
You believe death will bring an end to your torment? That is nothing but an act of cowardice. No matter how difficult, no matter how painful, your duty to your people is to continue fighting.
Even if those who have died, the many whose lives I have taken, would rather see me dead?
Many pray for your death. However, there are far more who need you here, alive. In Fargus, in the monastery, in this army, and here, standing before you, to serve you, to bear your torment alongside you. That, your highness, is my atonement.
Look at my hands.
They are shaking.
When I saw your sword swing before my eyes, for the first time, I did not wish to die. Many times I have felt that I cannot afford to die. But this was the first time I truly feared the prospect. Tell me, Gustav, is it really right for me to live?
It is, your highness. It truly is.
Thank you.
Another day, another training session, I see. You're quite dedicated. And practicing with the sword today. You weren't any good with it when you were little, as I recall.
And who told you that?
Lord Rodrigue mentioned it to me. He said you used to swing your sword so hard that you'd break it.
That was ages ago. I've had plenty of time to improve since then. Now I count swordplay as one of my specialties. Care to see for yourself?
Well, I can't just take your word for it, can I? Let's see what you've got. Well, I'm impressed. You're better than I expected.
I could say the same of you. I suppose we students still have much to learn.
No need for false modesty. We fought as equals just now. You're strong, and your form is excellent. You're clearly an experienced fighter. But you're greedy. You can't be so impatient to win. It'll come at a grave cost.
Greedy? I see. I'll take that note to heart. You have my thanks for the instruction.
Ah, it returns. The formality, the stiffness. Anyway, after we're through here, I might head into town for some food. Care to join me?
I appreciate the invitation, but I have certain duties I must attend to this evening.
Of course you do. Never mind about my plans then.
I thought you'd say that. You have the same sense of responsibility as I do.
You think so? I didn't want to push you to join me. We can just do it another day. I'll confess, I'm taking a shine to you. I'd like to talk to you more.
I would like that as well. Ever since I saw you wielding a sword all those years ago, I've been following in your footsteps. To be able to stand with you and cross swords is quite a...
Hey, slow down. Where did all this come from? You're embarrassing me. That's enough chatter for now anyway. Let's get back to sparring, this time with lances. I won't hold back. Show me what you can do.
Right. Prepare yourself!
That was delicious. Wow, I'm full. Nothing beats a big meal after a training session. Okay, what's up? You seem distracted.
Oh, my apologies, Catherine. I was just wondering whether you had any desire to return to Fargus.
No, I haven't even entertained the idea. My loyalty lies elsewhere. I'll defeat the Empire and rescue Lady Rhea. That's what I'm fighting for.
May I ask why you have devoted yourself to Lady Rhea?
It's simple. I adore her. Lady Rhea isn't just kind, but strong and courageous. I think she's a wonderful, beautiful person. More so than anyone else in the world.
Wow. I'm not sure I can compete with that.
You can't. My reluctance to return to Fargus isn't about you, though. Ever since I met Lady Rhea, going back just hasn't been an option.
That is a shame. I am certain Fargus could use your help in the near future. House Karen is one of the most sterling noble families after Fraldarius and Gautier. It would be reassuring to know that you had taken up your position as head of that house. Is something wrong?
You need someone who's like me, but more noble. You're so stern and serious all the time. Sorry, I'm not going back. Besides, my father is alive and well, fulfilling the duties of House Karen. I have plenty of capable brothers and sisters who can take over after him. I'll keep serving Lady Rhea here, and you'll bring the kingdom together at the capital. We have to direct our talents wherever they're most useful and most needed, right?
Well,
Anyway, early day tomorrow. Don't want to stay up too late. You better go to bed.
We should have been more careful. Those monsters really got the better of us.
I must apologize, Alois. If only I had paid closer attention.
No, it's all right. We've got more important things to do than dwell on our mistakes.
It hurts. I don't want to die yet.
Ugh. How did it come to this?
Indeed. With morale this low, we may yet have trouble making it back to the monastery.
We weren't expecting that attack, after all. It gave us a nasty shock. So we can't just leave. The Knights could use some inspiration. Listen up, everyone. We're going to carve ourselves a safe path back home to Garrigmach Monastery. But first, I want you all to hear me out.
Alois, what exactly are you...
A long time ago, Captain Geralt and I defended a small village from a band of thieves. After we defeated those hoodlums, the captain observed how ugly they were. Such hideousness ought to be illegal, he said. If it were up to me, I would have banned it. Then he walked up to the leader of the village and handed over a big bag of coins. A gift from the thieves, he said. They were dying to give it to you.
Sir, I'm not sure this is the time for...
Oh, Alois, how do you come up with those jokes? That last one was positively hilarious.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just a natural.
This is... I don't even know what to think right now.
I guess we should just join in.
Dmitri, just the man I was looking for. I wanted to thank you for your help.
My help? I'm not sure what you mean.
Don't tell me you've forgotten your help when the monsters attacked.
Ah, you mean the day you came up with those terribly hilarious jokes?
When you put it like that, I feel like you're the one who's kidding. Even I knew those jokes were awful. I was trying to think on my feet to raise the soldiers' spirits.
Well, you certainly succeeded. Our journey home was much easier as a result. As for myself, I am not much of an orator. I could never have done the same in that situation.
You're the only reason the gags didn't fall flat. If you hadn't started laughing when you did.
Well, I admit the jokes themselves were perhaps not your best work. But there is no harm in that. Even when you stumble, your good humor brightens everyone's mood and wins their trust.
Yeah? You think? I never thought about it like that. But if you say so, maybe I do have a knack for this.
As one who is bound to lead, I could stand to learn a lot from you. I am often told by both friends and subordinates that I am... without humor. Alois, if you would be so kind, could you teach me to tell jokes?
Oh, sure, I'm happy to help. If you want to be as lousy a joker as I am, you could surely find a better teacher somewhere else. In the stables, for example.
No. I would like to learn from you, Alois.
I see. Well, I guess I can't say no. I hope you're ready to become a wizard of wit.
I will endeavor to be a good student.
Very good. That's what I like to hear. Soon you'll be cracking wise like there's no tomorrow. Everyone will think you're a pun in the neck.
Sylvain!
Hey, Felix. I'm glad you're safe.
You irresponsible fool! Protecting me like that? You're so weak and yet you always...
Look, it doesn't matter. As long as you're safe. You can go on living, while I...
Stop kidding around! You're not going to die. I won't let you!
Nah, I won't die on you, I promise. You think something like this could kill me? No way. A little magic will take care of the wound. Some bed rest, then I'm good to go out and do it all over again.
Sylvain?
Oh, come on, that was funny. It's not like you to be so concerned.
You really are a fool. The biggest in all of Fodlan. I thought something was off. There's no way you could die from such a small cut. You're so reckless and inattentive. I thought this might be divine punishment.
Hey, that's not nice. You should be thanking me.
I am grateful. You've been doing this since we were children. Constantly fooling around, but then showing up and helping when we really need you. I'll admit, seeing that smile on your face, I almost want to give you a hug. Almost.
A hug? Did you get hit on the head? Come on. Tell me you want to hug me again. I liked it.
I won't be repeating it, you halfwit. You're obviously fine, so I'll leave now.
You know how we grew up together?
Obviously.
Do you remember the promise we made when we were kids? About sticking together until we die together?
I remember.
Well, I'm really not trying to get myself killed before you. You know that, right?
I know. But I'm tired of these close calls. You have to stop fooling around. Take your training more seriously. You can die whenever you please, but I'm not going down with you.
Okay, I get it. Once I've healed, I'll get my act together.
Then I hope you have a speedy recovery. Sylvain, thank you.
That's what friends are for, Felix.
Why are you taking over my cleaning responsibilities?
You're wounded, and you're going too slowly. I couldn't stand to watch.
You're still fretting over me, are you? I'm fine now, really. It wasn't even serious.
I could have handled the situation alone. That enemy wasn't much of a threat.
Yes, we all know you could have. But I also didn't want to risk something unforeseen befalling you. I've been doing some thinking. I feel a bit lost. I don't know that I'm cut out to be a knight after all. Without fulfilling that dream, without being a knight, I've been asking myself where my place is in the world. And I think I found my answer. I don't want to lose anyone anymore. So I want to protect those I hold dear.
That's why you were protecting me, huh? What a fool you are.
Foolish to act in line with what I value most? Were I to die, I would die knowing I followed my heart, my truest calling. I've been reading through more of that book I was telling you about. Recall the hypothetical question it posed? Do you carry out the orders or protect your hometown?
You've been reading that garbage again?
The book never specified that one should prioritize the commander's orders. Instead, it suggested that one should follow their heart in the matter. That's what a knight, that's what anyone being true to themselves should do.
That's just the editor's opinion.
Of course, and I find value in that opinion. Glenn died following his heart, not heeding the commands of the country or even the royal family. His death pains me to this day. It was a tragedy. But had he survived, I think he would have suffered. I will follow his example. No matter the outcome, no matter the circumstance, I believe in myself.
You know nothing.
What is it that you know then? What is it you fight for, Felix?
My own beliefs.
I see no difference from my own stance.
You don't understand.
You fight to be stronger than everyone, that you might protect those you care for, correct?
Okay, fine. You do understand. My point is, don't let this happen again. If you died, I'd be annoyed.
To avoid annoyance, then, I suggest you continue to grow stronger. If that happens, I might allow you to protect me too.
You're insufferable.
You're quite late getting back.
The scouting mission didn't go well. I was so busy I didn't even have time to eat.
I thought that might be the case. Gilbert was exhausted too. Glad you made it. I saved some food for you.
Thanks. I'm starving. Your cooking's fantastic, as always. The spices were a nice touch. I can really taste the Dusker inspiration. You remembered that I wanted to try more Dusker cuisine, didn't you?
Yes. How is it?
Amazing. You're a much better chef than I am.
Your cooking is not bad at all.
Thanks. My father would be glad to hear it.
Is he the one who taught you?
Not exactly. I learned from watching him work the kitchen in his restaurant. And what about you? I think you said that you and your sister helped with the cooking at home.
Yes. I learned by watching my mother. Nothing remains of Dusker. The towns, the people, the culture. All of it was put to the torch. My mother and sister are gone. Yet that simple memory of them standing together in the kitchen is so clear, so real.
So in a way, you put those memories into this meal.
Yes. Through me, they are able to live on.
I like that way of thinking. The church may not like my feelings on this, but in Fodlan, when people die, they pass on to be with the goddess, right?
I suppose.
That seems so far away. I'd rather they stayed here. My parents, my brother, Lanato, maybe they can all live on through me, too.
As long as you think of them, they will.
To-do. Your cooking is delicious. It really is.
Careful, or you will oversalt it.
It's all right. Thank you, to-do.
Eat as much as you'd like. Forgive me.
It's fine. Honestly, it's pretty funny when you think about it.
I did not expect the horse to react so violently when I approached.
No kidding. And I didn't expect the two of us to get covered in hay.
Animals have never taken to me. It must be as you said. My face is the problem. I have not honed my smile well enough. I deeply regret the trouble I've caused you.
Don't be ridiculous. And especially don't be sad. It's no trouble at all, I promise. Everyone makes mistakes. Isn't that what you've been trying to teach me?
Yes, I suppose so.
It does look like this'll take a while to clean up. But if we work together, it'll be done in no time.
I am truly sorry.
Don't apologize. When it's your turn for stable duty, I'm happy to help.
Really?
Sure. And in return, you can help me out when I'm on kitchen duty.
Of course.
By the way, I tried out all that stuff you mentioned before, about how to not be a scatterbrain. I'm still pretty hopeless, but thanks to you, I'm making fewer mistakes. It's probably not a good idea for me to be left alone around knives and boiling water, though. That's why it'll be really nice knowing you have my back.
You have changed.
Huh?
You no longer fear approaching me for help. You simply ask. And now, when the need arises, I will rely on you, too.
Dutiful as ever, to do.
What are you suggesting?
You're always busy delivering messages.
You mean His Highness's orders.
Does he need you to run such trivial errands?
He should not trouble himself over them. I am honored to attend His Highness and to represent him in all matters. Ever since he saved my life, serving him has given me reason to live.
Reason to live. Huh.
Your relationship to the Archbishop seems similar.
Not quite. I joined the Knights to repay a debt I owed Rhea. The debt's been repaid, so she's nothing more than a former employer.
Then you are not motivated by loyalty.
Not especially.
I wouldn't call Rhea my reason to live.
And if a higher-paying employer comes along?
I'd consider it. That's what mercenaries do.
Then yes, we are completely different.
Everyone's different. I'm not trying to criticize your loyalty. I've seen a lot of people like you all over the world. They don't tend to last very long, though. Try not to end up like them.
Thank you for the warning.
Ingrid, are you familiar with the story of the King of Liberation and the 10 elites of Fodlan?
Of course. They were the heroes who struck down evil with the power of the sacred weapons, protecting our land and people. Their strength was passed down through the ages, manifesting itself in the crests some of us are born with.
Yes, the 10 elites certainly possessed great power. But does that make them worthy of worship?
I imagine you ask because they later fought amongst themselves, turning on one another, ravaging the land.
Precisely. Initially, Nemesis and the 10 elites worked together to bring peace to Fodlan. But soon their ambitions got the best of them, and they clashed, using their sacred weapons on anyone they chose, strong and weak alike. What I mean to say is, possessing strength alone does not make one worthy of respect. Rather, one should be judged by how they choose to use that strength.
Yes, I agree.
If you follow that logic, then you will see it also applies to those who are born with crests. Now think of how your father wishes to wed you to another family's fortune on the basis of your crest.
Yes? What of it?
These are purely inherited qualities. Is it not foolish to judge a person's value by some inherited fortune? That is all a crest is, really.
That's what I think too. Having a crest or not has no bearing on your worth as a person.
I understand that Count Galatea believes he has the right to manage your affairs. I am certain he has his own share of problems. And I do not wish to meddle or lay blame. But if there is anything I should like to say to his daughter, it is this. How you live your life is up to you.
Thank you for your counsel and wisdom, Sedith. I've been thinking a lot lately about what might happen after the war. I will take some time to reflect on what lies ahead. My future.
Still contemplating, I see.
Without so much as a word, you've read me through and through. Since last we spoke, I've been thinking a lot about my future. How I want to spend my life. It's a lot to think about, and I haven't entirely sorted out where I'm going. I think I need more time to grow.
On the contrary, you have given this honest and sincere thought. I am quite impressed, actually.
You're impressed with me?
Worry about the future is not unique to youth. It is human nature. At the risk of being overbearing, might I offer you one more piece of advice?
Of course.
Have you considered what your life would be like had you not been born with a crest? Do you suppose that you would have been ordinary? Insignificant? I do not think so. Even without a crest, such a promising young lady as yourself would have a bright future ahead of her.
Sedith, I
am not typically inclined to flattery, so I hope you will take my words to heart. Have faith in yourself. If you trade that faith for a misplaced pride in your crest, I will have to reassess your character.
I've no intention of doing such a thing. It will take me time and experience, but I will find my path and walk it proudly.
I am glad to hear it, Ingrid.
Sedith, do you have a moment?
Certainly. Have you arrived at a decision about what you would like your future to be?
I think so. I was hoping I might ask for your opinion on the subject.
I am flattered. Please proceed.
I want to serve as a knight and protect my homeland. I know this through and through. It has been my truth for as long as I can remember. However, I feel I should choose a path that would benefit my father. I was raised by him in a happy home, never wanting for anything, despite my family's meager finances. I owe it to him to choose a path he'd approve of.
If that is the decision you have reached after such careful deliberation, then I have no objections. But may I ask you something?
Please, go ahead.
Have you actually had a conversation with your father about this?
I have not. There hasn't been time to pay him a visit. He did permit me to join this war. But I was brash about my departure. I left forcibly.
In that case, it is all the more important that you speak to him.
Perhaps. My father is an obstinate man. At this point, I'm not sure he'd care to hear what I have to say.
I do not know the man well, so perhaps it is not my place to judge. However, I do know what it's like to fret constantly over one's family. If he is as doting a father as you say, then he will want to know how you truly feel. I do not think he will refuse your wishes if you share them with him honestly. Of course, if your decision remains the same after speaking with him, then so be it.
Sedith, thank you. You're right. I should talk to him. I've spent so much time thinking about how stubborn he is that I've neglected to acknowledge my own part in all this. Rather than blaming him, I need to recognize how stubborn I myself have been. Maybe if I open up and allow for vulnerability, he will too.
That is the way. Hold your head up high and stride forward into the unknown.
I will. And I will keep your words close to my heart. Thank you for everything, Sedith. Why are you sighing at me like that? Is my face really so hopeless?
Ingrid, I am trying to think of something polite to say right now. It's as if you have no experience dressing elegantly. At all.
I mean, I don't. Dorothea, I appreciate you taking the time, but yes, we're in the middle of a war. It hasn't been my top priority.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be so hard on you. I was just surprised, is all. A gal like you're a beautiful young noblewoman who somehow has no experience with either makeup or fashion. This is basic stuff, Ingrid. The basics of the basics, really.
It may be basic for you, but I'm only just now learning. Annette has been taking the time to show me, actually.
Still, I can't believe you didn't know anything about it before her.
I was just never interested before. Even as a child, it never appealed to me. Fussy, pretty things always felt unnecessary. And gussing myself up to attract someone has never played an important part in my pursuits as a knight. But you've piqued my interest in all this.
How?
It's not like I'd be dressing myself up just to attract someone. I'd be dressing up for the occasion, specifically. Even if I don't dress up any other time, a special occasion such as this is a good reason to try it out.
Well, yeah. That's why we dress up when we go out. You might meet someone and you want to look your best, don't you? Get their attention, lure them in.
That's the exact opposite of what I just said. You said previously that dressing up for the occasion is reason enough.
Oh, I just said that so you wouldn't run off screaming.
I see.
My real point is that you're quite lovely even before getting all fixed up. Absolutely bewitching, in fact. So when I'm finished with you, well, someone looking at you could be forgiven for wanting to pounce.
Could they be? I don't know that I'd forgive them.
Oh, I know. That's why just before I lunge, I'm gonna ask permission.
Permission is not granted. Ever. Just back off.
What's wrong, Ash? Why are you standing there?
I've been thinking. No matter what I do, Lenato and my brother are never coming back.
Do you hate me?
I don't know. Maybe I do. I know you're an ally I can trust, a knight I can respect. But maybe I do.
Why don't you take a swing at me? I bet that'll make you feel better.
What?
Don't just stand there with that timid look on your face. Come at me!
I don't think that's going to help.
This isn't about avenging the dead. It's about taking revenge for yourself. It's how survivors move on. What will you do, Ash? You're welcome to stare at your feet for the rest of your life. Ah, that look in your eye. I like it! Come on, put your back into it!
Catherine?
Yes, Ash?
I don't know what's right anymore. I don't.
Don't be a fool. You decide for yourself what's right and what's wrong. I believe Lady Rhea is right, so I won't allow anyone to bring her harm.
What about a friend? How could you kill a friend to protect her, with no hesitation?
I couldn't. I'll never forget that day. When they took him, all I could do was stand there. I had to persuade myself, saying over and over under my breath, this is the right thing to do. If I hadn't, I wouldn't have been able to stand there. I would have cried out. I'm still persuading myself even now. I probably will be for the rest of my life. If I let myself regret what happened, he will have died for no reason.
Catherine.
Uncertainty is weakness. Someday, Ash, you'll have to make up your mind. You know who I am. What will you do about it? Wow, you've gotten much better. You're not doubting yourself anymore. It's like your state of mind is completely different. What changed?
Can I tell you honestly?
Please do. Maybe this is a chance to resolve our dispute and move on.
As a knight, an ally, and even as a person, I know I can trust you. But somewhere in my heart, there's a part of me that can't forgive what you did.
Of course. Your brother's blood is on my hands. It wouldn't be easy for anyone in your position to feel forgiving. If someone said it was easy, I would probably give him a smack in the face. You may never be able to forgive me, no matter how hard you try. I'm prepared to accept that. It's my duty.
I admire your spirit, Catherine. Honestly, I do. I hope the part of me that's holding this grudge will get smaller with time. And maybe someday, it'll vanish.
That's rather poetic.
Maybe, but I'm being serious.
Sorry, didn't mean to make light of it.
No, it's all right. We should have talked like this much sooner. I feel like I can finally stop dwelling on the past and start looking forward to the future.
I think meeting you has been good for me, too. Different people have different morals. They won't always agree on what's right and what's wrong. Maybe that's obvious, but it's something I think about when I'm talking to you.
Can I ask something of you? I'd like to get to know you better, Catherine, as a person, and as my friend.
Sure, but I won't do all the talking. It'll be dull if you don't tell me about yourself, too.
Me? It won't be very interesting for you, but okay.
Okay, let's chat over a nice, tasty meal, my treat.
Kristoff, Lonato, watch over me, please.
Hurry up or I'll eat all the food!
Coming! What are all these books doing on the floor? Hey, Cyril, what's going on here?
I'm tidying up the library, sweeping the floors, dusting the shelves, restacking the books.
Isn't there a schedule for library cleaning duty? Why are you doing all of this by yourself?
Oh, I'm helping out the kid whose job it is. He says I'm making him look bad, but I'm just happy to help. Besides, some of these books are valuable. Gotta handle them carefully. Not a lot of people get that.
But there are so many. You really think you'll get all this done today?
Easy. There's more stuff to do tomorrow, so the library has gotta get done today.
And I guess you're planning to do all that by yourself, too.
Yep.
Come on, it'll be dusk soon. Let me help.
Nah, it's my job and I'm gonna do it.
There is no way one person can shelve all these books before nightfall, Cyril.
Like I said, these books need to be handled real careful. Shouldn't you be doing your own thing anyway? This is my job, and I'm gonna do it because I know Lady Rhea expects it done a certain way.
I can't just stand here and watch. I won't get in your way, all right? I'll handle this shelf, and you take the next one.
Listen, I said I don't need your help.
I promise I'll be careful, okay? Let's just get to it.
Fine. You do over there, I'll do all of this.
Got it.
Hey, Ash.
Hey there, Cyril. Is something on your mind?
Well, I wanted to thank you for helping me.
Huh? When do you mean?
You know, when you helped me with cleaning up the library?
Oh, right. That was quite a while ago. I'd completely forgotten about it. No need to thank me, though. It was nothing. Do you need help with anything today? I've got some spare time. I really don't mind.
Well, I'd rather take care of the stuff I've been asked to do on my own.
I could give you a hand, though, couldn't I?
Yeah, you could, but I sure would rather you didn't. Me doing those jobs is why I get to stay here, even though I'm an Almyran.
Oh, so it's a status thing. I can understand that. I can get pretty awkward if I ever have to ask a favor from a noble.
Exactly. That's why I don't want anybody's help.
You don't need to feel that way around me, though. I'm just a commoner. I'm only in here thanks to a bit of luck. So really, I'm just the same as you.
I don't know if that's exactly true, but maybe.
Either way, birth and social status don't really matter for us, do they? After all, we're friends, right?
Friends?
Yeah, and when a friend needs you, you've got to help, don't you?
I don't know. I guess I've never been anybody's friend before.
It's easy. If I'm in trouble, you help me out. And if you need something, I help you too.
Huh. Okay. But I've packed up for the day already, so maybe you could help me out next time?
Sure. Whenever you need a hand, just let me know.
Ash is my friend. And friends help each other out. Yeah, that sounds nice.
No good. I've lost sight of them completely, and those monsters might still be out there. I'd better get back to the monastery before dark.
Ash! Ash! I finally found you.
Cyril? What are you doing here? You're awfully far from your post.
I'd heard you'd gone missing, so I started looking for you everywhere. Here, I brought you a map. You can use this to get home later, right?
You came all this way for that? Alone? It's dangerous out here.
Am I being a nuisance?
Well, of course not. This is a big help, actually. You took a serious risk coming out here, though.
But I thought we were friends. That's what you told me, Ash. You said friends help each other when they're in trouble.
I did say that. You're right. Come on, let's get back to the monastery. I could use your help finding the way.
I know you could. That's why I came out here. Oh no, I just thought about it. I'm gonna be in trouble when I get back, huh?
Maybe. Leaving your post is against orders. But don't worry, I'll take a share of the punishment.
What? Why? You did nothing wrong.
True. We're friends, though, aren't we?
Friends gotta get punished together too? I don't know about all that.
I wouldn't put it like that. I'd say friends stick together, through good and bad. So, let's split the blame. That's what friends are for.
Wow, so that's what friends are for. Okay then, when you're in trouble next time and you need my help, I'll go with you to get punished.
Good. I hope you remember that, because I think we're going to be friends for a long time.
You betcha. Friends for life, Ash. That's a promise.
Hello, Father. May I have a moment?
Of course.
I read all your letters. You never stopped writing them, did you? My birthday, Mother's birthday, every possible occasion, without fail.
Yes.
So why didn't you send any of them? If you had sent even one, we would have...
Each time I thought to send one, I could not do so. Such behavior belittled my penance. Time passed, and with it my feelings of guilt toward you and your mother grew. Even though I wrote the letters, I could not send them.
I would always talk about it with Mother. If only he'd write us at least once, we'd say. We waited and waited. All those long years.
I am sorry.
I'm tired of hearing it, so just stop. Your apologies change nothing. Send those letters to Mother. She'll be happy to hear from you.
I cannot.
In that case, why don't I send them?
I have given them to you. They are yours to do with as you wish.
All right then. I'll send them. You don't get to take it back afterwards. Father, you should know that they made me happy.
Happy?
Knowing that you were thinking of us all along. We were worried about you, Mother and I. Neither of us ever came out and said it, but we thought maybe you hated us. Were trying to forget all about us.
Never. I swear it on His late Majesty and on my homeland.
I see. All right, then swear. Swear that someday, when this war is over, you'll come back to us.
I hear you, Annette. I will return without fail.
No matter what. That's a promise you just made. If you break it, I'll never speak to you again.
Yes, I promise.
Great. Now I'm positively elated. I can't wait until we're all a family again.
I look forward to it, Annette. More than anything.
Flame.
Here to pester me, brother?
No, I think I'm the one who ought to be pestered.
Regardless of what I say to you, it is not as though it has any effect in reducing your worry over me.
That is true. No matter where you are, and no matter what you're doing, I will always worry. But that's only because I treasure you so very much. Please understand, I'm not trying to hurt you.
Of that I am well aware. I am touched that you care so deeply. When I think of it, it is my own fault that you have become so overprotective. I cannot blame you.
No, the fault is entirely mine. You were still so young. I placed far too much strain on you, and our lack of resources was no excuse. Worse, I failed to watch you during the battle. Your mother, too. We lost her because of me. Afterward, it broke my heart to see how much you would need to rest just to survive. I swore that I would dedicate every moment remaining in my life to your protection.
Ever since then, I have been afraid of falling asleep. My fear of sleeping is outmatched only by my fear of spending my life alone. Even if it cannot last, I want to live among my peers as one of them, as an ordinary person, similar to how you and Mother coexisted with your own comrades back then, fighting side by side.
Quite right. I know you must leave the nest someday. No matter how many ages our lives may span, I know that's the way of it.
Father...
Don't.
Nobody is listening, Father. Let me address you as such just this once. I have valued the quiet days you and I have spent alone together, but I am no longer a child. Just as you and Mother met one another, and eventually I was brought into the world, I
know. Please, no more. No matter what happens, you are my daughter. It gives me great joy to see you grow. But please, at least until this war is over, let me continue to worry. You're the most precious person in my life. I can't bear the thought of losing you.
It seems I have no choice in the matter. I shall allow you to worry about me enough for yourself and Mother both. But only that much and no more, my dear Father Keyhole.
Thank you, Sethlene.
Oh, is that Sedith? Wow, he looks really deep in thought. I wonder what he's writing. A secret diary, maybe?
That phrase doesn't quite work, does it? Let's see about an alternative.
Too uncertain for a diary. Maybe it's a letter. Or a poem.
No, that's bound to introduce misunderstanding. Precision is the key.
It must be really important if he's putting that much thought into every word.
But I mustn't overcomplicate things either. Parting words ought to be precise.
Parting? It's a farewell letter? Is he writing his resignation? Sedith can be a little scary sometimes, but I hope he doesn't leave. It'd be sad to see him go. He shouldn't make such rash decisions. If he's unhappy about something, he should tell someone.
Come now. Do you really think I would resign?
You heard all that?
If you don't wish to be heard talking to yourself, then you should not speak so loudly. I'm sorry to hear that you find me intimidating.
I'm sorry! I won't disturb you ever again!
Wait, Bernadetta! Typical behavior for the girl. Most concerning. Can she really go through life this way?
Excuse me.
Yes? What is it?
I'm really sorry about what I said. I shouldn't have called you scary, even if, you are. I said it again. I'm sorry.
It is nothing I haven't heard before. I am well aware of my austere nature, and I am accustomed to the commentary it brings. I do confess, however, that I was slightly hurt to see you flee from me in such abject terror.
Don't be sad. I'll never do it again. I promise. But, I've been wondering, were you really writing a farewell letter?
That. No, actually. I was composing a fable centered around Saint Indek.
I didn't know you wrote fables. But what's it about?
Saint Indek, one of the four saints. He was an extraordinarily shy person. It is said that he spent most of his life in solitude, unable to open his heart to anyone.
I like him already.
He was, after all, a man who hid himself away at the bottom of a lake.
What's that about a lake?
Nothing. Now, something else to know about Saint Indek is that he had incredible skill with his hands. And that skill made him beloved by the people because he constantly applied it to their benefit. The moral of the story is that shortcomings can be made up for with talent and kindness.
I like it. But I don't have any talents like that. I can't even imagine being that helpful to people. Saint Indek must have been really gifted.
Don't be so quick to dismiss your abilities. You and he are actually alike in more ways than one. You possess Index Crest, after all, do you not?
Yes, I do. You really think we're alike? Now I want to know all about him. Do you think I could read your fable when it's done?
Absolutely. Index example is something that we can all learn from.
Thanks so much. I'm excited to see it. Here's your book of fables you let me set it. It was so interesting to learn all about Saint Indec that I read it cover to cover in one sitting.
Impressive. I'm glad you enjoyed it. What's this sticking out between the pages? Is this an illustration?
No, nothing like that. I must have stuck it in there and forgotten. Just, give it back, please.
Are you certain this was accidental? It quite fits the descriptions in this chapter. Ah, I see. You included an illustration where you thought the visual would be helpful.
No, not at all. I was just fooling around. I have an overactive imagination, and I forgot to take it out before I gave you the book back.
It really is a lovely drawing, you know. Now that I've seen it, the book would feel incomplete without it. But who is this man next to Saint Indec? I can't help but notice he bears a resemblance to me.
Oh, that's Saint Keyhole. The book describes him as one of Saint Indec's closest friends. I got the feeling he was a very serious man, but also really kind. You know, like you. So that probably explains the, resemblance.
I have to say, I never would have expected to be a reference model for Saint Keyhole. What a curious ambivalence.
What about furious violence?
No, what I meant to say is that I am both flattered and a little embarrassed to be portrayed in this way. Perhaps it is because, in my study of him, I feel like I've also become a friend to Saint Indec. Records show that Saint Indec and Saint Keyhole worked together to achieve great things. If possible, I would like it if the two of us could similarly combine our efforts.
What? How do we figure into this?
We each bear their respective crests, do we not? One might also say that just as I am this book's author, you are now its illustrator. So why don't you do some more illustrations? And color them as well. We'll add them to the book.
You really want me to? I don't know if I'm good enough for something like that.
Ah, Bernadetta, have you finished your illustrations?
Yes, I have. Finally. This is the first time I've ever made anything for a real-life book. I was up all night finishing these. Bernie's all burned out now. I guess if they're no good, we'll just have to burn them all, eh?
Let's leave the topic of burning aside for now, shall we? Show me what you've done.
So, what do you think?
This is excellent work. The color, especially. It truly brings your art to life. I will see that the new edition of our book is added to the Garrigmock collection.
Really? Oh, that's such a relief. It was a tough job, but yeah, there's nothing Bernie can't handle.
You certainly do have some impressive mood swings. Actually, there is one thing I'd like to discuss.
Oh no, what did I get wrong?
Relax. I simply wanted to ask you about this last image. This is you here, is it not?
Yes. Is that wrong? What's wrong with it?
Nothing at all. I'm only curious. Does that make me the person standing beside you?
Oh, no, that's Saint Keyhole.
Is that so? Then I must ask, what relationship are you suggesting you have with him?
Well, I got the impression that the story of Saint Indec was told from Saint Keyhole's point of view. So I just imagined that I asked Saint Keyhole about it. And, that's where the picture came from. I guess I overdid it, huh? That's weird, isn't it? It's really weird. We can scrap it. Let's just get rid of it.
Ah, so that's why. That's amusing.
It is?
Very much. And I think this is a very fitting end to the book, actually. Saint Keyhole and Bernadetta. They would have made quite an interesting pair, I think. In fact, if the two of you had lived in the same time, I am certain you would share a deep bond.
What? Saint Keyhole and me? No way. I've already got my hands full just trying to be friends with you. But I've managed that at least, right? Haven't I?
Absolutely. How are you, Catherine? You look well enough.
Oh, yes, I'm fine. Never better.
That is good. I cannot help but be concerned given your tendency toward incautious behavior. While boldness can be a virtue, I do hope you will bear in mind that recklessness is not. A moment's negligence can lead to a mortal wound for even the most skilled fighter.
You worry too much. If they saw me in action, the wounds themselves would cower.
That is precisely the attitude that worries me, especially given your history. You have been gravely injured before, as you no doubt recall.
Me? Gravely injured? When did that happen?
You mean you have forgotten? It was during your days as a student at the Officers' Academy. There was an excursion, a monster hunt. You charged ahead and left your fellow students behind. You ended up alone and surrounded. You almost died. Do you truly not remember?
Are you sure? All I remember is cutting down monsters left and right.
That is true enough, but you nearly bled to death in the aftermath. The Archbishop was so concerned for your life that she tended your wounds personally.
Oh, that was when that happened. Finally! It all fits together. Lady Rhea looking after me. Now that I remember clearly. That was the first time she ever spoke to me. I was lying on the ground, caked in mud, and she gently picked me up, even stroked my hair. The emotions were so overpowering that they must have just cleared away my memory of the whole incident. So it was during the monster hunt. Thanks, Sedith. That's been bothering me for ages.
That is not quite why I brought it up.
Come to think of it, Lady Rhea hasn't healed me since then. We've got to find Lady Rhea, and then maybe someday she'll honor me like that again.
Hey, Sedith. I got a delivery for you.
Thank you, Cyril. Would you mind waiting just a moment for me to confirm the contents?
Sure thing.
All seems to be accounted for. I lack the time to handle tasks of this kind myself. I appreciate you making the effort. Is there anything I can assist you with? Do you have any concerns?
Concerns? Nah, I'm happy just working for Lady Rhea. I got a way better life now than I ever did before.
If your better life is this frugal, I have to wonder what your previous experience was like. It must not have been easy before you came to us. But you should know that is in the past now. You are young, you should be enjoying life. Do not allow your past to overshadow that. Is there nothing you desire? We will support you in any way we can.
Really, there's nothing. Except... Nah, it's okay.
Except?
I don't got anywhere else to go, and I just want to be able to stay here forever. This place Lady Rhea gave me, it's the only place I know to call home.
I will keep that in mind.
Well, I got work to do. Excuse me.
Of course. I apologize for delaying you.
My princess is lovely. My princess is fair. She sings like cicadas in midsummer's air.
Cicadas? Those noisy little bugs that swarm about, endlessly mingling with one another?
Oh, good point. I will revise. My princess is lovely. My princess is fair. She sings like a swallow in midsummer's air.
Migrating birds. Never sticking around for long. Always off to find love somewhere else.
No, what I meant was...
Oh, Ferdinand, you're just not yourself today. You don't seem focused. Your poetry lacks poetry. Perhaps a break is in order.
I would not dream of stopping now. This is my golden opportunity.
Pardon me?
We are finally alone. Just the two of us.
Why, yes, we are, aren't we?
You see, Manuela, I have long admired you.
Is that a fact?
I saw you perform countless times while you were with the opera company.
Oh, I see. So what did you think?
The figure you cut, that heartbreaking voice, I was mesmerized. That is why I am tongue-tied. I am nervous about speaking to you alone, after idolizing you for so long.
There's no need to be nervous, Ferdinand. That songstress you recall is long gone. I get nervous too, you know. But I want you to feel relaxed around me. Understood?
Yes, yes, I promise to try.
You're really full of surprises, you know that? I assumed you'd be more interested in combat than the arts. Come and chat sometime? I'd love to hear more about how my performances mesmerized you.
Hey, Cyril! Cyril? What is he staring at? I see. Hey! What are you looking at there? Anything interesting? Let me have a look. 3 apples, 2 bags of ointment, 1 piece of graphite. Intriguing. Some sort of code, perhaps?
Nah, I was just asked to go out and buy the stuff on this list.
Oh, that's all? Sorry for interrupting in that case. This is kind of a one-person job, so I won't bother you by offering aid.
You actually helped a lot just now, reading that list for me like you did. I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't tell anybody, because I've been trying to keep it a secret, but I don't know how to read, so I wasn't sure what to do with the list.
Is that so? But why do you keep it a secret?
I'd hate it if people figured I wasn't up to a job just because I couldn't read.
You're always welcome to call on me for help. I'd be happy to.
Thanks, I will.
I really mean that. Anything you need.
Okay.
Good. Now, you'd better go get those supplies before it gets dark. Do you remember everything on the list? Need me to read it one more time for you?
That would be pretty helpful, actually.
All right, listen up. I'm not gonna do this a third time.
Lysithia's not a good liar, is she? She knew I was in trouble right away. Hang on. Did she just want to act like a big sister again? But she looked real happy when she was helping me. And I think I'd like to see that smile again sometime. Hey, Lysithia. I'm glad I found you.
What's up, Cyril?
Could you read something for me again?
Looks like it's another shopping list. I'm happy to help you out. Did you try looking it over yourself yet?
What's the use? I told you I can't read.
Have a look here. Any of these letters look familiar?
Huh? This one? Was that apples? So it says 3 apples?
Yes, you got it! See? You can do it!
I wonder if there's anything else I can recognize. Let's see.
It's clear you've got a sharp memory. If you apply yourself, you'll be reading in no time. Reading is such an important skill. Once you learn, you won't forget. And I won't be around to read things for you forever.
Lysithia?
Anyway, don't you enjoy learning? It seems like you haven't even thought of trying prior to this. Do you simply not have time for it?
Until now, I never thought about how to learn. And since I was hiding it, I never asked anybody. But right now, I feel like I'd be happy to live like this for a little bit longer.
It seems like a hassle at this point not to learn, so you may as well start putting in the work.
Well, I like having you read things to me.
You do?
Yeah, you always seem happy when I ask you to read things. And when you're happy, you smile. I think you're pretty when you smile. I bet you everyone tells you that though, huh?
As a matter of fact, they haven't. Stop messing with me.
Hang on a second. Am I the only one who's seen you make that face? Is that why nobody's told you?
Excuse you? I mean, honestly.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go take care of this errand for the professor. I'll see you later, Lysithia.
Don't expect me to read for you again. And, just take care of yourself, will you? Phew. That about wraps it up for today's training. No thanks to a certain distraction. Professor Hanneman, I know you're there. It's extremely unsettling the way you're always staring like that.
Oh, my apologies, child. I was trying to remain inconspicuous, not wanting to interrupt.
Your half-hearted attempt to hide your weird staring only makes it weirder.
Well, I must apologize. In the future, I shall do my staring out in the open.
That might ease the weirdness, but it will continue to be extremely unsettling.
I have no desire to disturb nor to disquiet you. But you are a most exquisite subject for my crest research. And you understand that the foundation of all research is observation.
I understand well enough, and I'll do my best to ignore it. But in return...
In return, I will keep your secret. I have not spoken a word of your twin crests, not even to the church. If they knew I was withholding such valuable information, I might be branded a traitor. But such matters are trivial compared to the future of crestology.
Shh! Don't talk so loudly about it out here in the open.
Pardon my excitement. I simply cannot let the opportunity to study such a miraculous subject go to waste.
These awful crests may seem miraculous to you, but for me, they fall under the category of curse.
I hope one day you will share more about your tragic origins, whenever you have the time to recount it. Your tale may contain valuable information.
You are utterly lacking in empathy, you know that? Even if you spent your entire life observing me, you'd never understand my feelings and all I've been through. Now, if you'll excuse me.
I fear I may have made a misstep. I have no desire to trouble her, yet my research...
Professor Hanneman, is this a good spot for this book?
That will do nicely, Lysithia. I'm sorry to trouble you with these chores.
It's no trouble. After all, it's proper etiquette for the young to help the elderly.
The elderly? I'm only... never mind. How have you been feeling of late? Anything worth mentioning?
I've been feeling well enough, all things considered.
You seem to be maturing remarkably. No doubt your well-being is due to the positive influence of your twin crests working in tandem.
Here he goes with the positive again. Looks like your research is more useless than I thought.
I may ignore your assaults on my age, but I will not allow unfettered attacks upon my research. What makes you think it's lacking? Surely you do not deny that your crest-related abilities exceed those of your peers. You are so far ahead of the others. Even the combined effects of the twin crests you bear do not fully account for that discrepancy.
You just can't see beyond the crest, can you? In all your research, haven't you considered that my abilities are a direct result of the effort I put in?
Of course, I am aware that you are a hardworking student, but...
My efforts far exceed those of any other student. I've placed top priority on growing as quickly as possible.
Is the ability to expend such incredible efforts, to be so focused and driven, is that not a form of talent?
It has nothing to do with talent. It's a question of sheer will. I'm determined to succeed, no matter the sacrifice.
I see. But what drives you to such lengths?
I have goals, just like anyone, and precious little time in which to achieve them.
Little time?
The people who made me as I am informed me that my life would be drastically shortened as a result. A person bearing two crests against the will of nature itself. Well, clearly it can't be sustainable. As such, I don't indulge in the luxury of fantasizing about the future. I haven't got one. Knowing all this now, will you still claim that my crests are something positive?
I cannot. Please understand, I had no idea.
I'll be leaving now.
Lysithea, so that is why you were...
Did you want something, Professor Hanneman?
Ah, Lysithea, thank you for coming. First, I ask that you allow me to apologize. I fear I hurt you with my insensitive words. I have failed you, not as a researcher, but as a human being.
I'm the one who should apologize. I'm sorry for being rude to you. Anyway, I'll keep going along with your research. I have to be on my way now.
Please, Lysithea, a moment more. I did not call you here simply to apologize. I told you once that you were an exquisite subject for my crest research. Why? Because there are no records of any other person ever having borne two crests.
Correct.
We cannot say anything for certain about the makeup of your body. Therefore, it seems hasty to conclude that overcoming your shortened lifespan is an impossible feat.
What is it you're implying?
Lysithea, what is my field of study?
Crestology, of course.
Indeed, and the goal of my field is to unravel every single mystery crests might conceal. Someday, I even hope to devise a means to bestow a crest upon any who desires one.
Why would you want to do such a thing?
Because I despise this world in which the presence or absence of a crest can determine a person's worth. However, if artificially implanting a crest causes too great a toll on the subject, it would be useless. As such, reducing the strain of crests on the human body is one of my research goals. Understanding how to implant a crest might also lead to the knowledge of how to remove them, yes?
Do you think removing a crest could mean that they won't suffer from its effects any longer?
What I am trying to tell you is, the question of whether your lifespan can be restored is entirely within the scope of my research.
Could you really do that?
It is difficult to say for sure. But as long as the possibility exists, I will continue to seek it. Lysithea, let me ask you once more. Will you assist me in my research?
Professor Hanneman, I think I'm the one who should be asking for your help, really. Anyway, I'm sick of a crest determining a person's worth, too.
Ah, is that right? Perhaps you would even like to begin studying crestology yourself. I think you would make a fantastic apprentice. A life devoted to research is a noble life, you know.
If you do manage to restore my lifespan, I'd certainly think about it.
I will hold you to those words. Ah, I see a fine future ahead of us. Ho, ho, ho.
Marianne, do you mind if I ask you about something?
Yes?
It's about animal behavior. Among us all, you surely know the most about animals. I've read that in outdoor battles, wild animals can sometimes cause unexpected confusion. What do you think would be the best strategy to... are you listening, Marianne?
I was listening. I just don't think I can really...
For crying out loud! Why do you always have to admit defeat before even giving yourself a chance?
My advice would probably just put everyone in danger. You'd be better off without me.
This is beyond ridiculous. You're impossible. You seem convinced you're some sort of cursed being, destined to bring doom and gloom to anyone you encounter.
Well...
Why do you have such a terrible opinion of yourself? How could you possibly be so dense?
I just...
Just nothing. Now you listen to me for a moment. I can see that you have some deep-seated turmoil you struggle with. I'll have you know I have quite a few issues of my own, perhaps more grave than yours, if you can imagine.
Really?
Yes, but I'm not the only one who has such troubles to contend with. Everyone does. That's why it's so important to maintain a positive outlook and do what we can. Each time we find the light in the dark, we grow, bit by bit. And without growth, what's the point in carrying on?
Lysithea, I envy your confidence and strength.
Don't envy me. Instead, just choose to find the positive, won't you?
Yes. Well, maybe someday.
The time is now! This is your moment!
Oh, okay.
That's more like it. Now to start, why don't you help me out by answering my questions about wild animals?
I'll certainly try my best. Hilda? I wanted to thank you for helping me in the infirmary. I brought you these pastries.
Ooh, thanks. I'll put some tea on. Have a seat.
That sounds lovely. But I also wanted to apologize for always causing you such trouble.
It's no trouble. No trouble at all. Everything tastes better with friends, don't you think? I give you help, you give me sweets, we have a little tea party. It's a good arrangement, I'd say. I'm used to it now, so if it changed suddenly, I would feel disoriented.
I suppose if you're enjoying yourself, then it can't be that bad.
Sure. You don't seem to mind listening while I gab, so I'm enjoying myself plenty. But do let me know if I'm too boring.
No, you're not boring at all. In fact, you're, very good at talking. You're also good with your hands. You can clean and organize better than almost anyone. I envy you.
Oh, stop. I'm blushing. I'm not as great as all that. We're both a lot different on the inside than we look on the outside, don't you think?
How do you mean?
People who see you think you're so proper, but you're actually clumsy. That's why I help you, because there are some things you just can't do.
I'm sorry you always have to clean up after me.
I didn't say I hated it. In fact, you've taught me a few new techniques I can use to persuade people. Maybe I'll start imitating you a little bit. I'll do the Marianne. That sheepish, sorry, and those quavering downcast eyes. But that might not work as well for me. People would probably assume that I'd hit my head.
Oh, well...
Aw, Marianne laughing at me. So rude and yet so adorable.
I'm so sorry. I just can't help it. When I imagine you doing those things,
Yeah. It's rather un-Hilda-like, I'll admit. Okay, that's enough laughing.
I'm so sorry.
Hey, are you all right? That tea's hot, Marianne. Be careful.
Yes. Oh, ouch, hot.
Come on, what did I just say?
I know, I'm sorry. Ow, hot.
Oh boy.
A real steady hand, that Marianne. It's nice to see her laugh. Sure, she was laughing at me, but how can I get mad when she looks so dang cute? Ah, Cyril. Cleaning again, I see.
Hilda, you're in the way. Move it.
I'm supposed to refill the horses' water troughs, but I can't find the buckets. I was told that they'd be in the usual place. What's the usual place?
Maybe you'd know where that is if you did your job sometime.
You know, Cyril, I don't want to interrupt you while you're cleaning, but...
Come on, the buckets are over near the wall, where they always are, because I put them there.
Okay. Thanks for your help. You're pretty strong. I bet you're tired, though. Come on, let's rest a bit.
Okay, just for a minute, though. I got more work to do.
I'm not a fan of awkward silences. Anything interesting happened lately?
Figured you were the one with something to say. Quiet don't bother me.
I need an interesting topic for this letter I'm writing to my brother. I'm stumped.
Your brother write to you a lot?
Constantly. Yeah, he must be bored. He's always going on about how worried he is for me. What's worse, if I take too long to reply, he gets more worried and writes more about it.
Write about your life, maybe. You know, stuff like, I got real lazy again today. Or maybe, can you believe I still don't know where they put the water buckets?
You're mean. Do you really think that little of me?
You're a lazy gal who gets people to do her work for her. I never knew anybody like that in Elmira.
Oh, really? So Lady Rhea isn't the only difference between Fodlan and Elmira after all?
I don't like comparing Lady Rhea with you, but I figure you're right. You know what's real weird? Nobody seems to mind picking up your slack. Even me.
Sorry, what was that?
Nothing worth repeating. Anyway, I gotta get back to work.
He's such a diligent boy. I don't think I've ever seen someone from Fodlan work that hard. Oh, hang on. I never got an idea from him about what to write in my letter. Ugh. I guess there's nothing for it. Maybe I can just write about Cyril.
Petra, what are you doing?
Hello, Cyril. I was doing training for hunting.
I thought you were already a good hunter.
I am good, but to keep good, I must keep practicing.
Oh, I get it. Huh. Hey, can I ask you a question? I mean, I figure you asked me a personal question before, so now it's my turn. That is, if you don't mind. Tell me why it is you do all this training, and if it's got something to do with where you're from.
My training in my land of home. Before I can give answers, I must give you my history. I was a child in Brigid. But then there happened the war with the Empire. My parents they died. Brigid lost in the war. After it, a decision was had that I must go to the Empire.
War, huh? That's the same as me.
Yes. But our difference is that I still have a strong devotion to my land of home. I want to grow my skills and train with hardness for the goodness of my land of home. I will one day be leading Brigid. I want to have better relations with Fodlan. So that is why I am here, when I wish I could be there.
Oh, wow. You do all this so maybe you can be a leader for your people? I guess I was right. You're real different than me.
We have differences, but we do not have so many differences. You and I are the same, I believe.
The same?
You work with great passion, all for the future and to keep protected what is here today. I work for the future of my land of home. You are the same, but here is your home.
I don't know. Maybe, but I guess that does mean I'm putting in a lot of effort every day, just like you.
That is what I have said. You and I are the same, even with the differences we have.
Hunting? Really? There's no way I can do this. Goddess, why couldn't I have stayed in today?
Bernadetta, is this a trouble you are having? I heard that the duty to hunt is yours today.
The duties all got assigned while I was holed up in my room.
Do not be worrying. I can show you the way to hunt well.
Oh, okay then.
When you see a beast, you are thinking of it as an enemy. That is how prey thinks. You must think of the beasts as food. That is how the hunter thinks.
So it's not an enemy, it's food. But, how is it food when it's still alive?
You pick the vegetables from the field. Those have life too. It is the same. You take a blade in your hand and take the lives of the vegetables. You cut their stalks and harvest without mercy. They do not scream, but you are still their killer.
Killer?
Fruit ripens and falls to the ground. The seeds sprout and a new life is born. That is life's cycle. It has cruelty, yes, but you must end life to eat. You must be killing to be living.
Maybe, but I don't know if I want to be some kind of vegetable murderer.
It is the same for rabbits, deer, pheasants. The only difference being that they cannot cry out. You must do what you must do to be living in this world. It is your task.
A task? Yes, just a task. A completely mindless task.
Feel it. There, in the grass. Prey is moving, just like a vegetable in the wind. Give it an arrow, just like you would give a vegetable a blade. It is just your task.
Right. That makes sense. It's just like cutting a stem.
You are now a hunter. You have learned how to hunt.
I am? I have? Oh, good! What a relief.
You have understanding now, I can tell.
Great! Leave it to me. I'll hunt down my prey just like their vegetables.
I have belief in you.
Aw, thanks, Petra. I can do this. Make way for Huntmaster Bernie!
Have luck, Bernie.
Ow! What? No! Stay back! I'm sorry, Mr. Rabbit, I didn't mean it! Why are you the one chasing me?
How are you, Petra? You're not finding anything difficult, right? You seem to have settled right in.
I am settled. Everyone shows great kindness.
I'm glad to hear it. I was so surprised when you first arrived. A princess all the way from Brigid.
You have my gratitude. But please do not call me princess. You are making my cheeks blush.
There's nothing to blush about. You're every little girl's dream of what a princess should be. Anyhow, I suppose you can't return to Brigid anytime soon, can you? I hope you aren't homesick. Maybe we can cook one of your favorite dishes from back home.
I do wish for that. But there is no possibility. The ingredients are not found here.
I suppose you're right. That's probably why they don't cook the food of Brigid in the dining hall. I'm sorry. I just got to thinking about how hard it must be to live somewhere so far away from home and... No, it can't be impossible. I'll fix you a real meal of Brigid. I'll just find a recipe and similar ingredients.
Wait, Dorothea. It is the thinking that counts. But your cooking is... what is the word? Horrendous. That is what everyone is saying anyway.
Horrendous? Nobody's cooking can be that bad.
The thinking is enough for me. You have my biggest gratitude.
Fine, I'll do something instead of cooking for you. I just want to be sure that you feel at home here. How about a massage? That may help you loosen up.
I have no problems. My body is already able to relax.
Oh? Then perhaps I could sing you lullabies to help you sleep.
I'm not having sleeping trouble.
Just know that you never have to worry about putting me out. I like helping my friends. Well then, I must be going, but remember my offer.
Dorothea is filling my heart full.
Who's there? Oh, hey, Ignatz.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Relax. You're not interrupting.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you were training out here.
I sometimes come here to practice by myself. It's more like a real battlefield, you know? Shooting the targets in the yard lets you train your aim and all, but the tension just isn't the same.
You're right. A real battlefield feels quite different. But if that's the atmosphere you want, I feel even more like I'm intruding.
Oh, knock it off. You're already here. May as well stick around while I catch my breath.
Ah, okay, sorry. Thank you. Sorry to bother you.
You know you've said you're sorry about a dozen times since you got here.
Oh, I'm
It's fine. I guess it's part of your charm. Hey, what's that bundle of papers? Oh, did you come here to paint? I remember now. Someone said you're a great artist. You paint a lot, right?
Yes. Yes. When I have the time, that is. I enjoy painting. It helps me relax.
Oh, well, that could be your thing.
My thing? Huh? What do you mean?
Last time we talked about it, you said you didn't have a thing you were really amazing at. But if you like painting so much, it must be a skill you're looking to master.
My paintings are nothing but a hobby. Besides, I'm not that good. I never took art lessons. When I was little, I drew a picture for a young girl. The picture made her so happy that I decided to keep at it. That's how it started.
So you're practicing your art to make other people happy? Is that it?
Oh no, that's an overstatement. I must insist again, it's just a hobby. Even if I were to become a master artist, it wouldn't be a useful skill.
Aren't you from a merchant family employed by the nobles? I think it would be really useful there.
I'm not inheriting the business. My brother is. My father said that I'm to become a knight. So my art won't do anyone any good. At all. Ever.
Oh, Ignatz.
Ignatz, hello. What are you up to?
You frightened me.
Oh, calm yourself. What is it that you're drawing?
I thought I'd jot down some sketches of everyone while they're training. And then later on, I'll try to practice their moves on my own. But I can't really concentrate on sketching if someone's watching me.
Just sketches, Even so, they're lovely. There's such life in them. It's as if they're moving on the page before my very eyes.
You really think so? You know, I always hoped to be an artist.
With skills like that, I'm quite certain you could easily make a living of it. And your demeanor is different when you draw. Bolder somehow. Ah, yes, there's an idea. Perhaps in the future you will join my retinue as my personal painter. Wait, have we not discussed this arrangement already? I had decided to take you into my service as a knight, had I not?
Becoming a knight was my father's idea. Being an artist is out of the question, I'm afraid.
So you've said. Well then, I suppose you shall simply have to become a knight who also paints.
A knight who also paints?
I have seen your talent and can attest to it. Your gifts are too great to wither away in obscurity. A knight with the rare gift of artistic talent would be most welcome in my employ.
I had never thought of that. Still, I don't understand why you'd want me as one of your knights. As a fighter, I'm unremarkable.
There is more to knighthood than combat. Courtly manners, a dignified bearing, and an aesthetic sensibility are also essential. A knight with an eye for art and the talent to create it is sure to improve the image of the nobility.
Lawrence, I'd never have guessed you were prone to such eccentric ideas. Thank you. I'm feeling a little more confident after hearing your kind words.
No cause for thanks. It is a noble's duty to provide guidance to those in need.
Hey, Raphael. Reading a letter?
Well, if it isn't old Ignatz. I got a message here from my sis.
Oh, a letter from Maya. I haven't seen her in so long. I bet she's all grown up.
Nah, she's still a shrimp. It's been a while since I saw her. But she's probably only up to your shoulders.
Wow. I can't believe she's gotten that tall.
I wrote to tell her about how we're friends again. Do you remember this?
Is that the picture I drew for her?
She sent it along with the letter. I guess she held on to it since we were kids. All right, that's enough looking. She said to show it to you and send it right back.
To think she's handling my little doodle with such reverence. That warms my heart. I remember the day I gave Maya that drawing. She looked so happy. Before then, I never knew I could make people happy with art. It was a revelation. I've been drawing and painting ever since, in hopes of becoming an artist one day.
You're much better now, so it must be paying off. I bet you could be a real artist.
No, that's not possible, I'm afraid. I have to consider my parents' wishes.
Who cares what your parents want? It's not like you're a noble or nothing. Your fate is your own.
Huh. You think so?
I know so. And I'm gonna support you with whatever dream you got. Okay, let me see. What's the first step to follow your dreams? Oh, got it. You should paint me.
Paint you?
Yeah, I want my little sis to know how good I'm doing here. So I gotta send her proof. Plus, she'll be doubly impressed if it's a painting you made.
Good point. I can certainly try to capture your likeness. I'll paint you with a warm, cheerful expression on your face to bring Maya comfort.
My face? No way! You gotta get my muscles in there. Mostly my chest and arms.
Are you sure that's what she'd want to see?
Wait! Before you start painting, I gotta get me a little more training in. If my muscles aren't bulging, then what's the point?
I'm not sure about this.
Professor Manuela, it's been far too long since we've had a proper chat. Let's fix that right now.
Too true, Dorothea. We hardly have a moment to spare here. But it's so nice to see you flourishing. It certainly brings back memories. You know, somehow you've gotten even prettier. The years have been kind to you.
That's something like a rose telling a daisy it's pretty, but I appreciate the compliment all the same.
Oh, honey, if that's the case, I hope you'll work hard to never become a rose like me. Too many thorns.
Oh, stop it. You've accomplished a great deal. You should be proud.
That's a very nice sentiment, and I appreciate it. Thank you. So, I've been very curious. How did you end up enrolled at the academy anyway? I know you didn't have any family connections. How'd you do it?
Well, it did require pulling some noble strings. But learning everything to pass the entrance exams, that was all me, and very hard. Especially while I was still singing for the opera. But I wanted the academy more than anything else.
Well, bravo, and well done. You've always had to find your own way in life, haven't you? I so wish you could rely on people more often. Still, though, you haven't said why you worked so hard to get into Garreg Mach to begin with.
Isn't it obvious? Because you were here. When you retired, it broke my heart. But it also woke me up. Seeing someone like you who shined so brightly on the stage, give it all up and start a brand new life. It got me thinking about my own future and what I wanted it to look like. As ever, I followed your lead.
Oh my. I don't know what to say.
I had also heard that the heirs to the Alliance, Empire, and the Kingdom were all enrolling as well. With such an exceptional crop of potential spouses, how could I go anywhere else? And have you gotten what you are after? Your dreams, a future, and a good partner? I'm sure I'll find my somebody someday, but I haven't found them yet. It's so nice to spend time with you again, Manuela. It's been too long. My head is pounding. You'd think I'd get used to this. Oh. Manuela? Oh my goodness, you look terrible. Don't get up, I'll get you some water. I should fluff up those pillows for you. It will make you more comfortable. I'm completely hopeless. I was so proud of being the reason you came to Garrick Mach. Dorothea wanted to follow in my footsteps. How great is that? I thought I'd use that as an inspiration to straighten myself out. Be less of a, less of a disgrace. But here I am, right in front of you, dealing with the worst hangover I've had in weeks. You thought you'd hide this from me? Wait, you mean you knew? Even when you were still with the opera company, you had quite the reputation. There was a joke that you could outdrink a fish and the sailor who caught it. Dorothea, my brain's pounding as it is. Please, stop. It's all true. But I can't handle hearing it from you, the girl I thought I had inspired to greatness. I can't believe I tried so hard to be a good example for you when you knew all along. I should leap into the ocean and drown. Don't say that. You've not lost a bit of respect from me, not one bit. Everyone has their faults, and some have more than others, but you were the finest songstress the opera had ever seen. And you've taught me well. What I mean to say is, you're my inspiration. I really do admire you. Thank you, Dorothea. That means a lot. This is unbelievable. Why? Why does it keep happening to me? What's wrong with me?
Are you okay?
I was sure I'd be happy this time. Why, oh why, oh why do I always struggle in love?
Please, let go of my sleeve.
If I let go, you'll just run away, won't you?
Yes.
Nobody wants to listen to my romantic tragedy. But I saw you, Cyril, and I thought, Cyril will listen, because Cyril is good people.
Okay, I surrender. What do you want to say?
I knew I could trust you, Cyril. You're such a good boy, such a good young man.
How can I help you? Is it just with listening?
Oh, it's a real tragedy, let me tell you that. Yesterday, I was hitting it off with a man I'd seen a few times at the pub. When I looked in his eyes, I thought he was the one. But then, well, we were drinking and enjoying ourselves, and all of a sudden, poof, gone. He just vanished.
I feel like I've heard this story before.
Can you believe he treated me so cruelly?
Yeah, this is all real familiar.
My heart is in tatters. I can't believe anyone could throw away a woman like me. Cyril, be honest. What's wrong with me?
You drink too much, blame others for your behavior, and you don't understand you gotta love yourself before someone else can love you back.
Maybe he wasn't for me anyway. If you're gonna take off after a few drinks, who needs you, right? I think you're too young to understand, but I also think talking to you made me feel better. Yeah. You know what, Cyril? I'm gonna come talk to you more often.
Manuela? What's she doing down there?
Ugh, what did I do to deserve pain like this? Alright, same thing as always.
She seems fine. I ought to just keep walking. See no evil, right?
Stay right there. Ugh. Cyril! It must be a little dollop of destiny meeting you here. Listen, you wouldn't leave me when I needed a little help, would ya?
Okay, what do you need?
That's my boy, Cyril. You're a saint. I don't want to be trouble, but get me water and medicine. Now, please. I feel a bit better now. Thank you so much, Cyril. My sweet, dear little Cyril.
Professor Manuela, why do you do this to yourself? It makes you feel so bad the next day, I don't see the point.
Oh, you know, sometimes I'm upset and... well, that's it really. It's not something a kid like you could understand. Maybe one day. Or not. Who knows? All I know is that my head aches.
Professor, isn't this stuff why you keep running men off? And them running is what upsets you. Then you do this all over again.
You can't understand heartbreak until you've felt it for yourself. But when you're older, your heart will break. And I'll make sure to be there. To get you water and all that.
That's okay.
You're always so nice and sweet, Cyril. I'll pay you back. Promise.
Nope, no thanks. No reason to. You don't have to do anything.
Oh, don't be shy. I'll be waiting in the wings for that little heart of yours to shatter. Oh, Cyril. What were you saying? I interrupted, I think.
I was just saying I need to get going. A lot of work to do. Lots. Okay, bye.
Hey, Alois. Tell me another story about Captain Gerald, will you?
I've told you so many. I don't have an endless supply, you know. There is one that comes to mind, however. That time the captain nearly killed me.
What? What did you do?
Now, it wasn't that I had done anything wrong. That wouldn't be much of a story, would it? No. We were at an inn making merry. Suddenly, the other guests began to gather around the captain. They wanted him to put on a show to entertain them with his skills.
Oh, I get it. They figured his aim would be great even while drunk.
That's right. He had a hatchet, and they asked him to hit targets with it.
A hatchet, huh? I guess a dagger would be too easy.
Indeed, indeed. Then the captain tells me, put this apple on your head and stand over there.
Ah, so he could knock it right off, huh?
That was the idea, but the hatchet fell short of my head, nearly striking me square in the chest. If I hadn't gotten out of the way, that inn would have been my grave.
I knew it. That's our captain. So clumsy sometimes.
True. Injuries take their toll on a man's dexterity.
Oh, so that's why? I just remember him saying his hands were no good for finesse.
Well, regardless, a master swordsman, that Captain Gerald. Even with the hatchet, now that I think of it. I never saw him miss in the training yard.
Really? Seems unlike him to miss that apple, then.
Yes, that just dawned on me. Throwing that hatchet, he shouldn't have missed so badly.
Do you think maybe he was secretly angry with you?
I'm not sure. What if the captain was, in fact, trying to kill me?
Ha! No way. He must have known you would dodge the throw in time. Horsing around at the inn, deadly serious on the battlefield. Sounds just like him, doesn't it?
Yes, certainly an eccentric man. Sometimes, Leone, you quite remind me of him.
So that's it. I'm going to be a great mercenary just like Captain Gerald.
Ha! You skipped right to the conclusion. That's exactly what Gerald would do.
I know. I picked that up from him, too.
That might not be the finest trait of his to emulate. In the end, it comes down to combat skill. Regardless, I'm happy to hear you say all this.
Why's that?
I've strived to become a knight at the level of Captain Gerald. But I'm an old man. I've come to accept that I will never be his match.
No, don't say that. You can't give up.
No, it's quite all right. I know myself and what I'm capable of. But you're still young. Youth is a weapon of the utmost power. Infinite possibility. We are both inspired by Captain Gerald. So I hereby bequeath to you my lofty ambitions.
That's... wow. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
No need to cry, Leone. I'm relieved. My dream is in good hands with you. Captain Gerald is looking down proudly on you, I'm sure. Will you carry on his legacy?
Of course I will. Definitely.
Leone, do you remember the story I told you once about what happened at the inn?
The hatchet throwing? Sure, I remember. Why?
Gerald ran up quite a tab with all his drinking, and he left without paying. Now his debt is due. And, as you have declared that you'll carry on his legacy, you see where I'm going with this.
Wait, what? That's got nothing to do with me.
Nothing to do with me either. I don't drink. Even so, all this time, I've been paying it back little by little. And it's not just that one place. He owes money in towns all over Fodlan. I haven't been able to step into a tavern anywhere without being badgered for payment. Ugh, so exhausting. But now, I can say that the debts are for you to cover. You're still young, so I'm sure you'll manage in time. Thank you, Leone!
Hold on, that's a joke, right? Hey, get back here! Take your lofty ambitions back! I don't want your stupid debts!
That battle was a decent challenge, but when push came to shove, they didn't have a chance. Before long, all of the church's enemies will have been destroyed.
You must really love worshipping the church. Or is it just Rhea?
Lady Rhea. You're the only one in the Knights who doesn't address her with the proper respect. It's not just that I worship Lady Rhea. I respect her, admire her, revere her.
I don't get the Seros religion. Or Rhea.
Shamir, if you were anyone else, I would cut you down for saying that. She saved your life.
She did, and that's why I fight for her. Doesn't mean I worship her.
You never change. You're so stubborn.
You're the stubborn one. When we're on missions related to Rhea, it's like you're wearing blinders. Wanting to help her is admirable, but you'll be of no use if you get yourself killed.
I don't plan on getting killed, and it's not that I'm wearing blinders. I'm just focused. I've devoted my heart to Lady Rhea. She's the reason I wield my sword.
As long as you don't get killed or cause me any trouble, I don't really care.
So my death would cause you trouble?
That's not what I meant.
Let's give it a rest. There's no point in arguing.
Fine, but I want you to know something. It's not easy to put your life in the hands of someone who doesn't share your beliefs.
I understand. I think we can both agree on that.
Hey. We don't need to have this conversation.
You don't know what I was going to say.
Something about our vastly different approaches to life?
Fine then. We don't need to talk about it. Actually...
Really,
Sorry, you go first.
I was gonna say I'd hear you out.
Okay, Let's talk about it. I will be faithful to Lady Rhea until I die. If I had to choose between you and her, I would choose her every time. I assume that disqualifies me from being your partner.
Between you and Rhea, I'd choose you. But between you and me, I'd choose me. That probably disqualifies me from being your partner, too.
Well, no. I'm quite fond of being alive. I don't intend to sacrifice my life either. If it came down to you or me, I'd choose...
What's wrong?
Nothing. You're not like the rest of the knights. Maybe someday you'll have to take a path that diverges from ours. What if we went to war with your country?
It is a possibility.
Maybe I shouldn't be thinking like that.
The future is one of the great mysteries of life. We can worry about it when the time comes. But until our paths diverge, you're my partner. And I couldn't ask for a better one.
You got that right. I'm the best there is.